Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel BBC Rare Coins. Waving hand today, we're diving into the history and legacy of one of the most iconic coins in American currency, the Washington quarter dollar. Let's start. Top 1. You may want to check your pockets, your piggy banks, or that old jar of change sitting in the back of a drawer, because a single quarter, yes, a 25-cent coin, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. This isn't a myth or some collector's exaggeration. We're talking about one of the rarest and most valuable coins in U.S. history, a 2000 Washington quarter that sold for an unbelievable $57,000. The year 2000 was a busy time for the U.S. Mint. The 50-state quarters program was in full swing, with millions of coins being produced and released into circulation to honor each of the 50 states. These quarters were wildly popular, sparking a collecting craze across the country. But during this historic run, a rare and incredible error occurred, one that created a coin so unique and unexpected, it became a legend. This is not your average quarter. This rare 2000 Washington quarter was mistakenly struck on a planchet mint for a Sacagawea dollar coin. That means instead of the standard copper-nickel appearance most quarters have, this one came out golden. Not plated, not painted, but genuinely struck on the wrong metal blank at the U.S. Mint. It was a real error, a complete accident, and only a few of them ever made it into circulation before the mistake was caught. The result? A true rarity. A coin that looks like a golden dollar but bears the image and design of a quarter. This type of minting mistake is known as a mule, when dies or planchets not meant to go together are accidentally used to create a hybrid coin. And when this happens with a circulating coin like the Washington quarter, the rarity and the value skyrockets. One of these extremely rare error coins surfaced and was authenticated by professional grading experts. It was in pristine condition, showing off that strange golden color, the detailed state design, and the unmistakable 2000 date stamp. When it went up for auction, collectors knew they were looking at something extraordinary. Bids flew in. Enthusiasts and investors competed. And in the end, this tiny 25-cent piece sold for a jaw-dropping $57,000. Only a few examples of these golden quarters are known to exist. Most have vanished into private collections or are still hiding in plain sight. Imagine the possibility that one could be sitting unnoticed in a box of old coins, or even passed unknowingly from hand to hand at a gas station or coffee shop. What makes this story even more thrilling is how easily such a valuable coin could be overlooked. To the untrained eye, it might just look like a slightly off-color quarter. But to a collector, it's a gold mine. The giveaway is the golden hue, the date, 2000, and the state quarter design. Known examples have included states like Georgia and South Carolina. If you come across one, don't polish it, don't spend it, and don't toss it in a coin jar. It needs to be handled carefully and examined by a reputable coin grading service. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, but few stories are as captivating as the 2000 golden quarter. It's a reminder that some of the most valuable treasures aren't locked away in vaults or hidden in museums. They might be right in your change. All it takes is a little knowledge, a sharp eye, and a bit of luck. The next time you get change from a purchase, take a good look before you drop it into your pocket. That ordinary-looking quarter might not be ordinary at all. It might be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery worth tens of thousands of dollars. And who knows? You might be the next person to uncover a lost piece of American minting history. Top 2. In the world of American coins, few stories are as fascinating and surprising as that of the rare 2001 quarter dollar, a coin that turned an ordinary piece of pocket change into a $54,000 treasure. It's a story of a hidden error, a minting mystery, and the incredible value a single mistake can bring when discovered by the right collector. In 2001, the U.S. Mint was continuing the rollout of the 50-state quarters program, which had already become one of the most ambitious and popular coin series in American history. Millions of quarters were being struck and released into circulation, each one bearing the image of a different U.S. state on the reverse side. But among these millions, a small handful of coins came out different. One of them would go on to become one of the most valuable quarters ever, eventually selling for an astonishing $54,000. What makes this 2001 quarter so special isn't the state it represents or the year it was released. It's the rare and nearly unrepeatable minting error that changed everything. This particular quarter, believed to be from the Kentucky or New York issue, was struck on a planchet meant for a different coin, possibly a foreign coin or another U.S. denomination, resulting in a dramatically different composition, weight, and appearance. Instead of the usual copper-nickel color, this quarter came out with a different tone, a slight golden or dull silver shade that immediately stood out to anyone paying attention. But the real value wasn't just in how it looked, it was in how it was made. This type of error, when a quarter is struck on the wrong planchet, is one of the rarest types of minting mistakes, especially from the modern era. Even more incredibly, this coin was in near-perfect condition when it was discovered. Sharp details, clean edges, and a brilliant surface, all signs that it was well preserved from the moment it left the mint. When it was eventually submitted for authentication and grading, it was confirmed to be a genuine U.S. Mint error, not a fake, not altered, but 100% real. That confirmation changed everything. The coin was put up for auction, and what followed was a bidding war between collectors who understood exactly what this coin represented. It was more than a quarter. It was a rare artifact, a fluke of history, a symbol of how something small and unintentional can carry enormous value in the right hands. The final bid, $54,000.1 quarter, 25 cents, sold for more than the average annual salary in the United States, all because of a single mistake. The story of this coin is a reminder that treasure doesn't always sparkle. It doesn't always come locked in a vault or stashed away in a chest. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket or sits unnoticed in an old coffee can full of change. These rare coins aren't always flashy, but for those who know what to look for, they are golden opportunities, quite literally in some cases. Collectors and coin enthusiasts always keep an eye out for these kinds of errors. They check the dates, the color, the weight. They study the edges, the rim, and the design for anything unusual. In the case of the 2001 $54,000 quarter, it was a mix of sharp eyes, expert knowledge, and a little bit of luck that turned an everyday coin into an extraordinary payday. What makes these quarters even more exciting is the possibility that others could still be out there. Not every error gets caught at the mint. Not every rare coin is found by a collector. Some are still hiding, in circulation, in jars, in drawers, even in the change given back at a fast food drive-thru. That's the thrill of coin collecting. It's not just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. And every so often, someone finds a gem worth tens of thousands of dollars, disguised as pocket change. The 2001 quarter that sold for $54,000 proves that even in a world where everything feels digitized and automated, mistakes still happen, and those mistakes can become legends that next time you're handed a handful of quarters, don't just toss them aside. Look closely. Check the date. Look at the color, the edges, the weight. That ordinary coin might just be a rare piece of American history. And if you're lucky enough, it might be worth more than your car, your rent, or your entire savings account. The 2001 $54,000 quarter is out there, and it's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things in life are hiding in plain sight. Top 3. In 2005, the United States Mint was deep into the production of the 50-state quarters program, releasing 5 new designs each year to honor every state in the nation. Millions of people across the country were collecting these quarters, trading them, and filling up coin folders. But buried among the endless stream of coins that came off the presses that year, something extraordinary happened. A rare error, a one-of-a-kind mistake that would turn a single 2005 quarter into a $48,000 treasure. The 2005 quarter that made headlines wasn't special because of its design. It wasn't because it featured California, Kansas, West Virginia, Minnesota, or Oregon. It was valuable because it was different, a mistake that escaped the Mint's strict quality control. A mistake so rare, it became one of the most valuable and expensive quarter dollars in U.S. history. This particular 2005 quarter was struck with a double denomination error. That means it was minted on a blank that had already been used, specifically, a blank that had already been struck as a Roosevelt dime. Somehow, this dime planchet made it back into the system and was struck again with quarter dies. The result? A bizarre, shocking coin. A quarter design stamped over a Roosevelt dime. The coin showed details of both denominations. You could see part of Roosevelt's face blended into the image of George Washington. The reeded edge didn't match, and the coin was smaller and lighter than a standard quarter because it was struck on a dime-sized blank. This kind of error is not only rare, it's nearly impossible. These kinds of double denomination mistakes are freak accidents, and only a few have ever made it into the hands of collectors. But this wasn't just a weird coin. It was in phenomenal condition, crisp, clear, well-preserved. That made it even more desirable to collectors. When it hit the auction block, the response was electric. Coin experts recognized immediately how rare this find was, and bidding intensified. After a flurry of offers from serious collectors and investors, the final hammer came down, $48,000. For one quarter, a 25-cent piece that defied the odds. This is what makes coin collecting so fascinating. Every coin that leaves the U.S. Mint follows a precise process. But even in a system built on perfection, mistakes happen. And when they do, they can turn an everyday coin into a fortune. The 2005 $48,000 quarter is living proof that one small oversight at the Mint can create something worth more than most people make in a year. But it's not just the value that makes this coin legendary. It's the story behind it. A coin that shouldn't exist. A dime reborn as a quarter. A rare glimpse into the chaotic, mechanical world behind the nation's money. It's a mistake, yes, but it's a beautiful, historic mistake. And for collectors, those are the most valuable finds of all. So how do you know if you have one of these rare 2005 quarters? Start by looking for anything unusual. Check the size, weight, and color. A quarter that feels too small or looks slightly off may be more than just worn down. It could be an error coin. Look closely at the design. If you see overlapping images, double impressions, or traces of another coin's face underneath, you may be holding something rare. Any quarter that looks like it was stamped twice or has details from more than one coin should never be ignored. If you think you found one, don't clean it. Don't polish it. Don't try to improve it. Send it to a professional coin grading service to be authenticated. Because if it's real, you could be looking at tens of thousands of dollars sitting right in the palm of your hand. The 2005 quarter worth $48,000 is more than just a rare coin. It's a reminder that history, value, and luck can all come together in the most unexpected way. In a world where everything seems digital and fleeting, this coin stands as a symbol of the physical, tangible value that still exists in the smallest corners of everyday life. Next time you get a handful of change, don't just drop it into a jar. Look closely. Inspect every quarter. That odd-looking one might not be a manufacturing defect. It might be a mistake worth a fortune. Because hidden among the millions of coins we touch every day, there are still secrets waiting to be discovered. The 2005 $48,000 quarter is one of those secrets. And someone out there might be holding the next one without even knowing it. Top 4. In 2017, the United States Mint released another series of quarters as part of the ongoing America the Beautiful Quarters program, a continuation of the popular coin series that highlighted national parks and historic sites across the country. That year featured designs for effigy mounds in Iowa, Frederick Douglass in Washington, D.C., Ozark National Scenic Riverways in Missouri, Ellis Island in New Jersey, and George Rogers Clark National Historical Park in Indiana. Millions of these quarters were produced and distributed across the country. Most of them were ordinary. But one of them was not .1 single 2017 quarter, struck in error, would go on to become one of the most valuable and expensive quarter dollars in U.S. history, selling for an astonishing $43,000 at auction. What made this quarter so special wasn't just its design or condition. It was the combination of a rare minting mistake, extremely low survival rate, and the mystery surrounding how it was ever released in the first place. This particular quarter was part of the Ellis Island design, but unlike the rest, it was struck on the wrong planchet, a coin blank that was never intended for a U.S. quarter. Instead of the standard copper-nickel-clad planchet, this rare piece was struck on a 5-cent coin planchet, or possibly even a foreign coin blank, giving it a smaller size, a different weight, and a completely unexpected appearance. At first glance, the coin seemed strange. The edges didn't match, the size was off, and the sound it made when dropped was different. But when examined closely, the design was unmistakably that of a 2017 Ellis Island quarter, perfectly struck but on the wrong metal. This wasn't a fake or a novelty item. It was a true U.S. Mint error, A legitimate mistake that slipped through layers of inspection and quality control. These kinds of errors are extremely rare. The U.S. Mint operates with incredibly high precision, and minting mistakes of this magnitude almost never make it into public circulation. When they do, they are often quickly discovered and destroyed. But this one survived. It made its way into the hands of someone who either didn't notice or didn't care, and it traveled, maybe for months or even years, before finally landing in the hands of someone who knew exactly what they had found. The coin was authenticated by a top grading agency and confirmed as a genuine error, an Ellis Island quarter struck on an incorrect planchet with off-metal composition. Its rarity, along with its nearly flawless condition, made it irresistible to serious collectors. When it finally came up for auction, the bids came fast, climbing higher and higher until the hammer dropped at $43,000, a 25-cent piece, worth more than a brand new car. All because of a tiny, almost invisible mistake. What makes this story even more fascinating is the idea that others like it might still be out there. The 2017 quarter error wasn't supposed to exist, and yet it does. That means others could have escaped the mint as well, lost in circulation, sitting in someone's change jar, dropped in a parking lot, or forgotten in a drawer. It's a hidden treasure hiding in plain sight. So how can you tell if you've got something similar? Start by checking for anything unusual: size, weight, thickness, and color. If your 2017 quarter looks smaller than usual or feels too light or too heavy, that's a clue. If the edge looks incomplete or smooth instead of reeded, that's another. And if the design seems shifted, incomplete, or strangely aligned, it's worth looking closer. These are all signs of possible minting errors, and potentially of a coin worth thousands. That it's important not to assume every odd-looking coin is valuable, but the rare ones that are real can change your life. Get it checked by professionals. Get it graded. Because a mistake worth ignoring to one person could be a $43,000 payday for someone else. The 2017 Ellis Island quarter that sold for $43,000 is a perfect example of how coin collecting remains full of surprises. In a world where everything feels digital and disposable, coins still hold stories. Real, tangible, valuable stories. Stories of history, of craftsmanship, and of those rare moments when the system slips and something truly extraordinary is born. For collectors, this is the dream. Not just owning a piece of history, but finding it, uncovering it, holding in your hands a coin that defied the odds and became something legendary. The most expensive 2017 quarter isn't just a valuable coin. It's a reminder that even the smallest things can carry great worth when they're one of a kind. The next time you're counting change, don't rush through it. Take a closer look. The coin you ignore might be the one someone else would spend $43,000 to own. Top 5. In 2021, the United States Mint entered a new era of quarter production, closing the chapter on the long-running America the Beautiful Quarters program and introducing a fresh series with a powerful message: the American Women Quarters program. It was the year the Washington quarter design saw an update, a modern touch that honored the past while embracing the future. But as with so many moments in minting history, even during a carefully controlled launch, one extraordinary mistake managed to slip through. A mistake that would result in one of the most valuable and expensive quarter dollars in U.S. history. That quarter, minted in 2021, eventually sold for an astonishing $74,000. Not because of its design, or its silver content, or its age, but because of an incredibly rare and shocking minting error that collectors had never seen before on a modern coin. The coin in question was part of the 2021 Washington crossing the Delaware quarter, the single transitional design issued between the end of the America the Beautiful series and the start of the American Women Quarters. It featured General George Washington commanding his troops across the Delaware River, a bold and patriotic scene that captured a pivotal moment in American history. But one particular example of this quarter stood out for all the wrong, or perhaps all the right, reasons. This rare 2021 quarter was mistakenly struck with an obverse die from a different year, while the reverse bore the 2021 Washington crossing the Delaware design. The result was a double-era mule, a coin featuring mismatched dies from two different designs. The obverse may have included remnants of the earlier America the Beautiful series or even an improperly retired die, but the key detail is this: It wasn't supposed to exist. Mule errors like this are incredibly rare. They occur when two mismatched dies, one from one coin, one from another, are used together to strike a coin. The last time something of this magnitude happened on a U.S. quarter, it became national news. In this case, the 2021 Mule Quarter created a sensation within the numismatic world. It combined the transition from one era to another with a striking, undeniable visual error that could be seen even without magnification. The coin's appearance was jarring. The face of the coin didn't match the year. The details looked off. The fonts weren't aligned. It didn't feel right in the hand, and to a trained collector, it was clearly something unique. When it was authenticated, the grading experts confirmed it. A true mule error, fully struck, in near-perfect condition, and officially minted in 2021. That what came next was no surprise. When the coin hit the auction block, collectors across the country and even from overseas prepared to bid. This was more than a coin. It was a historical anomaly. A modern coin that had all the markings of a million-to-one mistake. Bidding was fierce. The price climbed fast. And when the final bid landed, it did so at $74,000. That's right, $74,000 for a single 2021 quarter. A coin that, under normal circumstances, would be worth just 25 cents. But this wasn't a normal coin. It was an error so rare, so unlikely, and so perfectly preserved that it instantly became one of the most valuable quarters in American history. What makes this story even more exciting is the possibility that more of these coins could be out there. If one slipped through, others might have too. It's the kind of discovery that keeps collectors checking their change, flipping every coin, and scanning every quarter with fresh eyes. Because finding a $74,000 coin isn't just a dream. It's happened to us. Oh, what should you look for? Start with 2021 quarters, especially the Washington crossing the Delaware design. Check the obverse carefully. Compare the fonts, the placement of the date, the inscriptions. If anything looks off, if it doesn't match the known 2021 design, if it appears to belong to a previous year or different series, you may have something special. Pay attention to the edges, the thickness, even the sound the coin makes when dropped. And if something truly looks unusual, have it authenticated. Don't clean it. Don't alter it. Just get it checked by professionals. The story of the 2021 quarter that sold for $74,000 is more than just a lucky mistake. It's a perfect storm of history, design transition, and rare mechanical error. It reminds us that even in the modern age of precision and technology, human error still plays a role, and sometimes that error becomes a hidden treasure. For collectors, this coin is a once-in-a-generation find. For everyone else, it's a reason to look twice at every quarter. Because somewhere out there, maybe even in your pocket right now, could be another one of these legendary coins. A small piece of metal with a big secret. The most expensive quarter dollar of 2021 wasn't struck in gold or diamonds. It wasn't specially issued or handed out in ceremony. It was a mistake. A beautiful, rare, history-defying mistake that turned 25 cents into $74,000. And that's what makes coin collecting magical.